Hello everyone, welcome back. So this is my video log about my experience having double jaw surgery. I'll post somewhere around here the link to my playlist of the other videos I've made. And this is the first time you're seeing me since I had double jaw surgery. So I'm now 7 days post-surgery. Today's Thursday. I had my surgery last week on Thursday. And it was nowhere near as bad as I was expecting. So just to remind you, what I had done was they moved my top jaw to the left and forward a couple of millimeters. They moved the bottom jaw to the right, twisted it about a millimeter. And then I also had the genioplasty where they cut part of the jawbone here and slid the bottom forward. I've tried to be really, well, let me talk about the hospital experience first. So I showed up at 6:30 in the morning. As I expected, I was getting really nervous. The nerves were really starting to show just as I was approaching the theatre. My teeth were really chattering and I was really shaking, like uncontrollably. I wasn't feeling that nervous in my head, but just my body was showing these really extreme versions of extreme symptoms of nerves. But that's okay, we went through with it. The anaesthetist was really good. He didn't use any gas or anything, which he said can cause you to be groggy afterwards. So I just had intravenous anesthetization, and it took about 30 seconds for me to go to sleep overall. I was in surgery from 9:15 until 1:15. So, well, I was anesthetized for about 4 hours, but the surgeon tells me that all of the surgery only took 2 hours and 55 minutes, so that sounds like record time to me. I woke up and the first thing I really needed to do was pee a lot. In fact, I was feeling really uncomfortable about the amount I needed to pee. The nurse was sort of really precious about it and saying that I needed to pee into a bedpan because she didn't want me to move too much in case I was bleeding too much. But I pretty much ignored her and just went peeing in the toilet like an adult. I went about 5 times in the first 3 hours after surgery, so I was up and down and I was walking quite a bit. I had help at first, but pretty much after surgery I was alert, and I was like Mila Djokovic in Resident Evil, just ripping off all the hospital paraphernalia. Wanting to just sort of get moving again and free from the bed. So by about 6 p.m. The surgeon came to see me and he said, oh, well, if I'm up and down 5 times already, then I don't really need the things, the compression stockings wrapped around my legs and for this apparatus to keep the blood flowing through my legs, because I was already moving so fast. By 8 p.m. I'd already had 1.5 liters of fluid, which the nurse said was orally, which the nurse said was enough to take out the cannulation out of my hand. So after that point I had nothing attaching me to the hospital bed anymore, and so I was trying to just move a lot. I got up and I did laps of the hospital room, just walking as much as I can to get the circulation and metabolism flowing. I wasn't feeling very hungry, but I was feeling kind of thirsty, so I would drink some water, everything through a straw at that point. And then I slept through, well, I had sort of broken sleep overnight, but then by 6 a.m. the surgeon had already said that he expected I'd be able to go home pretty quickly. So he sent me home. He came in, saw me, said no worries, you can go home straight away. So I was home after one night in the hospital, and then I've been at home ever since. So I've got a series of videos I've taken so you can see my progress each day. For the first few days I had this sort of like this plaster that was just over my chin, and that was to keep me just to keep the swelling down on my chin. I also, originally I had like a bandage around my head with some ice packs. The surgeon said I don't really need that, but the hospital puts it on you for some reason. I also had this thing under my nose that was collecting blood. So I was bleeding quite a bit out of my mouth and out of my nose. but I was just trying to clear it out as much as possible. The anaesthetist said the trick to not getting nauseous is to just not have any, not have, said not swallow any blood. So I was just trying to spit out all the blood and make sure none of that came down. So I'm still getting some blood coming out now, 7 days later, but it's not really bad. It doesn't seem very fresh. I think everything's healing the way it should. I got really swollen, but already the swelling is going down quite a lot. So here's what my teeth look like now. This is what it looks like from the side. You can hear me fine, but I do have a slight speech impediment right now. It's sort of strange. My teeth are overlapping, the front over the bottom ones, as they're supposed to. Anyway, I'll show you some videos, and I'll be back afterwards to just talk a little bit about my recovery process so far. Hello, it's just a quick video to show you how I'm doing. Surgery was yesterday. I've already been discharged from the hospital, so I've been at home since this morning. I think I'm healing pretty quickly. You can see I'm really swollen here. Really swollen, but not too much pain. I'm trying to keep off anything with codeine because I don't want the side effects. So really it's just a lot of swelling and it's hard to eat. So I'm feeling kind of hungry, but I've been drinking soups and juices and like protein shakes today. I will try and do another one of these tomorrow just so you get a sense of how it's going. This is the day after surgery. Hello, it's the second day after surgery. Still feeling really swollen, but not much pain. I can open my mouth a bit now, which is nice. Look, I'm getting a bit of a click here though. Also, I'm swollen all the way down my neck. You can see I'm really swollen there. Alright, I'll see you tomorrow. Hello, this is the beginning of day 3. I think the swelling has gone down a bit now, so hopefully I'm over that hump. Everything's looking pretty good. I'm really swollen all the way down to the top of my bottom of my neck here, or near the top of my chest. Not too much pain. The biggest issue is just getting bored. So I'm trying to keep moving. I've gone for a few walks around the block. I think the circulation of blood helps to keep down the swelling. I've managed to start drinking without a straw. One thing I've noticed is that it's easier if I take a swallow and then I drink rather than trying to swallow with my neck back like this. It's harder to swallow like that. And I've also managed to eat with a spoon so far, so big news. Tomorrow I'm going to take this thing off. There's no wounds underneath, it's just supposed to control swelling, but I'm really looking forward to getting rid of this thing because it's quite itchy right now. I'll see you tomorrow. Hello, it's day 4. The swelling started to go down a little bit, but there's a lot of bruising, you can see, on my neck and a little bit on the side of my face here. The bruising is really starting to come through. I tried lowering my head so it wasn't so elevated, and it was a lot harder to sleep last night, so I might still play around with that a little bit. I've also noticed that sometimes I'm getting a bit of a speech impediment, which I guess is only temporary, but something to think about. I'm getting a slight whistle on my S's sometimes. Okay, that's it. I'll see you tomorrow. Let's see day 4 right now. It's day 5 after my surgery. Swelling seems to be going down quite a bit now, but I'm getting quite a lot of bruising all the way down my neck. You can see right here, but it's not too swollen, not too painful. Just trying to move a lot still. I went walking to a friend's house, which was about a 10-minute walk yesterday, so that was good to get out of the house. And in the evening I had just a bit of pressure in my face here, so my blood pressure went up, and there was a lot of like pressure. Maybe it was also just because I was talking all day, so that was pretty annoying, but otherwise I seem to be healing pretty quickly. Only 2 more days until I go back to the surgeon, so we'll see what he says. Hello, it's 6 days after surgery. I'm feeling pretty good. I don't really have any pain. I feel back to normal, more or less. The only issues are I am quite numb just through here. I'm completely no numbness here, no tightness or anything. I feel quite tight just in my jaw area here, and I'm bruised all the way down my chest, all the way down here. I've just got some scales and weighed myself. I've lost 3.5 kilos in the last 6 days, so that's about 8 pounds. But yeah, that's about it. I'm seeing the surgeon tomorrow, and everything seems to be going really smoothly, so I couldn't be happier. So as you can see, I've been healing pretty quickly. So food-wise, I started with just everything completely liquid, drinking through a straw. I was drinking sausagen, I was drinking soup. I was trying to bulk it out a little bit. I added some cottage cheese and some eggs to canned soup. I'd also try and eat some yogurt sometimes. It's not difficult to swallow at all, it's just really hard to bite anything. I need to practice what it's like to chew. It's not really hard on my jaw or muscles to chew, as far as I can tell. The main issue right now is that I've got elastics in my mouth which are restricting movements, so that's making it quite difficult to chew. I've lost a bit of weight. In 7 days I've lost about 3.5 kilograms, which is about 8 pounds. So not too much. I think that just happens when you go on a basically liquid diet. So I'm not really worried. I expect that anything I lose I'll get back as soon as I'm back on solid foods. The reason I'm making the video today is that I just went to go see the surgeon for my first follow-up, and he's pretty happy with my progress so far. He says whatever I'm doing I should keep it up, so that's good. And so I don't know what to say. I think I've just been trying to stay motivated. I'm not too worried about only having soups or, not eating normal food for a few days. But I'm just trying to stay moving. So I've been walking around the block a little bit, just getting the blood flowing. I've been keeping my fluids up really high. I've been trying to rinse out my mouth to keep really good oral hygiene 3 times a day. I've been taking the medication. So I've been on antibiotics to stop any infection. I'm on a script of, got it here. It's called celecoxib. It's to help with the swelling. It's supposed to stop the swelling from, it's supposed to make the swelling go down pretty quickly. So I've got enough for 12 days worth there, so I'm about halfway through, just over. And in terms of painkillers, I've been prescribed Mercilin, I think it's called. It's paracetamol and it's got codeine. It's sort of like endone, but I wanted to avoid the endone because last time I had endone, it blocked me up a little bit, and I was afraid of getting blocked up when I have like a really sensitive jaw right now. So this thing still has codeine though, so I've been trying to take it as little as possible. I've just been sticking with basic paracetamol tablets, so I've got a generic brand, Panamax, but anything with just paracetamol is okay. So I've been taking two tablets of those 4 times a day, but in the evening I've just been substituting 1 tablet with the one with codeine, just because it makes me sleepy, so it's easier to sleep. Well, at this stage, I've got complete feeling all the way through my face here. Everything I can feel and function normally. It's fine. I can also move everything in the bottom and just a bit numb here. And I think the main reason for that is actually not the jaw surgery, but the gynoplasty I had in my chin. So this feels quite heavy and numb right now, but I can still feel that it's there. And it's starting to take some shape. So it's a bit swollen still, but I'm really looking forward to seeing the detail of the bone as that sort of settles down. I'm not sure how well you can tell there. I'm really bruised all the way down my neck here. And I've got a bruise from the anaesthetist on my wrist here. This big dark patch is bruised. But apart from that, everything's looking really good. So I guess I'll try and post another update in maybe 3 weeks or something. So I've got a month post-surgery, but I feel like I'm recovering at lightning speed and everything's looking up. I just can't wait to be a little bit less swollen. So I'll see you then. Thanks for watching, and if you guys have any questions or you'd like to know more about my procedure or anything about my experience, feel free to ask in the comments or send me a private email. If not, I'll see you next time I make a video. Until then.